Hi, everyone. It is Natalie from Own My Health, and today I want to talk a little bit about the concept of consistency. Now, we've heard about this all the time and realize that adding consistency into our life really adds and contributes to the development of positive goals and habits and all sorts of other great things in our life. And so the idea of being consistent in action is very helpful. But the issue, of course, comes down to the motivation and the inspiration to do something consistently. Now, I want to sort of draw your attention, first of all, to things around expectations. And sort of the best analogy that I can use is really this concept of the light switch. So think about it when you get up in the morning and you go to the bathroom and you're about to do your, brush your teeth or get in the shower, whatever it is that you do. And the very first thing that you do to be able to initiate that ritual is to turn on the light. Now, I don't know about you, but all of us have a general expectation that that light is going to emit light as soon as you switch the light on. So the light switch equals light. And that is just an expectation that we all have almost 100% of the time. And failing a light bulb that burns out or some sort of an electrical issue, there's probably a 99.9% of the time that when you flick the switch, the light will turn on so that you can go about your business. So there's an expectation and there's this incredible consistency that light switch provides to you. So I almost want to use it as an analogy about some of the other expectations that you should have about yourself. And these are really some of those really positive things that you say to yourself, so your self-talk, or some very specific kinds of behaviors or actions that you do on an hourly basis, on a daily basis, or weekly basis, whatever the frequency is that you have suggested or think are going to help you move in the direction that you desire, is that there has to be an expectation of yourself to do it, and also a level of consistency that when you put that in your mind, that on that frequency is that when you initiate it, that there is an expectation that you are going to consistently do it, just like the light switch, that when you click it or when you switch it, the light comes on. So there has to be that level of consistency for a few things. I'm not talking about a ton of things. I mean, I've talked about this in other videos, that there's only so much finite energy or willpower, and actually, quite frankly, time in all of our lives, that you have to be selective of what is it, those activities or that activity, effort, or even thought pattern that you want to initiate daily, consistently, and methodically, so that there is no doubt in your mind that that is something that you will be doing or thinking. So a consistent action that you expect to do, and there's an expectation that it will always be done. Now, the only other thing I just wanted to mention that's a really important point is about balance. And it's really the balance between having variety and ritual in our lives. And it is this balance about how do you do this. One of the things I think that really freaks people out about consistent action is that it will get boring and it'll get dry and it'll sap you of any interest in it, because it's the same old and and how am I going to do this? And we always realize that our brain is just set up to drone out or automatize the things that it no longer needs to focus on, which is those automatic behaviors. And it will adjust and focus its energy and its intention on the new shiny things that it needs to learn and build neural networks towards. So there's already this sort of biological system of getting bored with stuff. So how do you balance the need for variety and ritual? Now, the one thing I just want to say is I really believe in ritual. In fact, every morning I follow a very specific ritual that gets me started with my day, and I do it day in and day out daily. I start off with meditation. I use a few other apps and sorts of things to get my brain waves started in a specific way, connecting with source. And I do journaling, and I write my gratitudes, and there's a series of other steps that I follow in a very rhythmic way. And that for me is a great example of a ritual that I do consistently with an expectation that I won't waver from it. Can I allow some variety to occur? Absolutely. How I write my gratitudes can change. Where I do my meditation can modify. It can be at the beach one time, or when I'm on vacation versus, a different place in my house. How I'm sitting can be different. The different kinds of music. So you can add elements of variety while still maintaining your rituals. And so there really is this fine balance of going in with what is automatic and creating enough variety to keep your mind and your mental energy engaged. Now, the only other thing I just want to mention also about ritual is that we sometimes dog it because it's oftentimes associated with self-regulation and confinement in a certain way of acting and thinking. And I will have to say that I do believe that a certain level of self-regulation is required for us to train, the saboteur, the little talking voice that will talk us out of doing something positive in our life. It's the fear that prevents us from, walking over the bridge or burning bridges to things that previously held us back. So the self-regulation or the ritual is this intentional way of you building the positive, new habits that you need to create so that done over and over again will create that habit and those neural networks in your brain that will enable it to become an automatic behavior or thought pattern, belief or perception. And so I really just wanted to leave that with today is the idea of consistency and consistent action with the expectation that every time you do it, it will result in a specific thought pattern or behavior. So the consistency is really essential. And they're also being able to do that through this balance of creating enough variety so that there is interest in your mind and brain and in your life, while at the same time creating enough ritual so that you can create a pattern of behavior. So I encourage you today to think about something that you are trying to develop in your life. Let's just say, for example, it's removing sugar, which is a huge feat in itself. And so how will you be able to do this consistently? So the first step would be writing down a list of times where you might be tempted, or areas where you find that you've fallen off the bandwagon, or where is it in the day, the gaps, or those trigger points that you can start becoming aware of. And then the next step would really be developing a way that you can ritualize the not eating sugar. And again, you can apply this into multiple different aspects of your life. It could be creating consistency on saving money, for example. It can be consistency in how you speak to your kids, or consistency in going out on a date night once a week with your spouse. So there's hundreds and hundreds of different things that you could be aspiring or desiring to do. And how do you achieve that ritual while at the same time adding the element of variety? So hope you enjoy that, and look forward to hearing some of your comments. If you've tried to apply some of this in your life, please leave a comment below. If you like some of the content I'm sharing, please like this or subscribe to my channel. So hope you all have an awesome day. Own your health, and you've got this.